Hi there, I'm Holly McDonald with the Costa Mesa Pod, where we discuss all things concerning the lifestyle, businesses, and activities that make our area such a great place to live. Today I have Terri Brien of Terri Brien Interiors, and I'm so glad to have her. She does amazing design work throughout Southern California and is going to be taking a little bit of an opportunity to help us talk about making our houses into homes and even commercial spaces. I mean, she really does it all. So Terri, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Holly. I'm excited for this conversation.
Yeah. So why don't we start off by talking a little bit about your company and kind of your specialties?
Okay. So we are a full service residential interior design studio. We're based in Orange County. We've got projects all over Southern California, all the way up through the Los Angeles area, down through San Diego. We focus on anywhere from ground up new construction to remodels and furniture and styling projects.
Wow. So pretty much everything.
Pretty much everything. I know there are some that studios that might just focus on the construction aspect or picking out finishes. But I literally love the entire process. It just gives you an opportunity to tie everything together and add in those layers.
That is great. And so how long have you been in the design world?
We are at 23 years right now.
Yeah, so a little bit of experience under your belt.
A little bit of experience for sure. And where I came from before I started my own design studio, it was pretty high volume. Mm-hmm. So it's safe to say I've worked on around 1,000 homes.
Wow, that is a lot.
I know. It sounds crazy, but it's true. I also managed a team of designers before going out on my own. I was a team lead.
Yeah.
So I had my hands in, other designers, clients, as well as my own.
That's a lot. And so you probably worked with a whole bunch of different styles and trends and all of that. Is there a niche or a specialty that you feel like you're really good at, or can you kind of adapt? What would you say?
So we are pretty adaptable. Mm-hmm. I have certain things that we just don't do because it's not what we love. And I really think that, the work you're doing, you should love it.
Yeah.
So you're going to do your best work with that. So we don't do cold modern.
Okay.
And that means it's all the shiny surfaces, all the cool colors. We will do more contemporary warm where we've got natural materials, natural woods, it can be simple lines, all glass doors and, things like that. Just clean line furnishings, clean materials, but they have to have warmth.
Yeah.
We do lean a little bit more transitional typically.
Okay.
And so transitional is the blend of more contemporary clean lines with more traditional elements. And things full of character, things that add character, and depends on the client really on that style. But character-filled spaces is what we really love to do.
Okay, so that's your jam. Do you do a lot of coastal?
So coastal, this is where I'm going to hop up on my pedestal here.
Please do. Educate me.
When people hear coastal, we are automatically thinking, okay, we've got nothing but the really light colored white oak, and we're decorating with blues. We've got beiges, whites, blues. For me, that feels a little derivative. There are ways to evoke a coastal feeling without being so literal.
So kind of tying in elements, but not being hitting you over the head with a hammer about it.
Exactly. I mean, if somebody wants that coastal beachy feel, lean into warmer woods and probably brushed woods, because that's kind of evocative of the, coastal nature around us, trees instead of super shiny polished wood floors, or, accent furniture in brushed woods or even vintage woods. Lean into things like limestones that are hammered or brushed and have texture. Lean into woven materials. So there's a way to evoke that feeling through the materials and the color palette that doesn't have to be just so literal.
I love this education and just the spin on it from somebody who has been in the design world for so long. Plus, we are right by the beach. So of course, people think about it.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of beach houses or people that come here and like consider it a beach community. So just to have that take on it is so helpful. So I want to know a little bit more about your business. So you were with a larger firm. You started your own.
Mm-hmm.
How long has your firm been around?
So my firm has been around, I think we're at about 3.5 years. So for like the first year and a half, I worked out of my home.
Yeah.
And then I got a studio space in South San Clemente. But yeah, I mean, long before I went out on my own, I really started like building the company. I am a crazy process perfect person. I get like my business coaches told me don't let my perfectionism get in my own way.
Yeah, because that's procrastination, right?
Yeah, basically. I mean, I was like so hung up. It took me a while because I was so hung up on having all my processes in place and the perfect branding and the perfect website and the perfect photography. So yeah.
No, but that also does, it's very telling that you would probably do a really good job with your design services too.
You know, that's exactly how I feel. The way you present yourself to the public, because you know, if I'm hiring a hairstylist, I want her to have good hair.
Yes, oh, for sure.
Right? Yeah, same thing. I think an interior designer, your image, your website, all of that speaks to who you are.
Yeah, well, and I would imagine that a lot of people contact you because they see the images of the work that you've done. I know I've seen some great images of designs that you've done, and they look amazing.
Thank
you. Instagram and a lot of these visual websites are really good business cards for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you find a lot of people are contacting you because they've seen what you've done and want you to do something similar, or they trust that you could do something for them, even if it's not the same exact thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, these days, you know, social media, I think you need both the social media and the website. I've had it go both ways. People that found me on Instagram, or they found me through like a Google search, but then went onto my Instagram to check out the pictures. So yeah, no, that's really important. Like finding me through that. They do, you know, they'll ask like, oh, I love this kitchen. My goal is instead of just copying what I've done before, really digging deeper with them to find out what's going to suit them in their home best.
Yeah. And do you find that they know, or do you have to kind of dig it out of them and ask them questions? Like, for example, a kitchen, like layouts could be better served one way versus another. Even the types of appliances that people have, or, you know, like, I mean, there's so much, right? So I am just so curious to hear your take on it. I tour a lot of homes, obviously, as a realtor, and sometimes I'll go into communities where the homes are all basically cookie cutter, but they've been modified over, you know, people want to make them their own. And so I would love to hear your take on this.
You know, like I said, I love designing every space. Kitchen is where I probably spend the most time learning about how my clients live. That's one thing that I think really sets apart, you know, a good design looks pretty from great, you know, amazing. And I truly believe that your home should, it sounds cheesy, but like should work for you, should elevate your life, not just the way it looks, but how it functions.
Oh my gosh. I don't think that that's cheesy. I think that that's exactly what a home should be. Yes.
I mean, so we take a deep dive with our clients. We really, truly listen. And yes, we have to sometimes drag it out of them. Sometimes we're asking them questions that they're like, okay, this is weird. Why are you asking this? But it's only truly then that you can really get to the heart of it. Okay, I'm hearing you don't like your kitchen. What don't you like about it? What doesn't function? It usually starts with aesthetics because that's what they're thinking, interior designer, that's what we're going to focus on. And some do, but we like to dive a little bit deeper. And I sit there and I'm like, okay, so how many people are using this space? How do you use your home on a daily basis? What are your morning routines in your kitchen? What does that look like?
Yeah, that is deep.
Right? Yeah. So, I mean, okay, one client in the morning, we get up and, I make my daughter toast pretty much every morning. I make a smoothie and both my husband and I are having coffee every single morning. Now, right now we've got these appliances scattered all over the kitchen. Okay. The cupboards are full. The drawers are full. The countertops are overflowing. They even have to have some small appliances out in the garage. I'm just hauling them back and forth. So, I mean, we open up those drawers and doors and I'm looking and I'm saying, okay, so we've got a drawer filled with a jumble of sippy cups, like this big deep drawer, and they've got to dig for everything. They've got their kids' bibs in here. They're digging for that. And then we have a drawer that's just filled with like all the spices and they're kind of somewhat organized, but not easily accessible.
Yeah.
They've got tons of bakeware. So then I go through and I'm like, okay, all right, we're going to focus on the function first and the aesthetic will follow.
Yeah.
So I start designing cabinetry and it's like, okay, so we need some pull-out spice racks here. They love baking and cooking and both of them cook in there. And so we're going to take this island and we're going to create a prep station. We've got deep drawers where we are putting mixing bowls and measuring cups and we're putting a knife block in here. The next drawer down has vertical storage for different cutting boards.
That's so good.
So this just creating like these zones, basically. The appliance garage. Okay, I've got to measure the coffee maker, the Vitamix that makes the smoothies, which if I'm not mistaken, I think is 17 inches high, if I still remember that, to make sure that in this appliance garage, there's enough room for them to function. Let's make it a little easier. We're going to put on a pull-out platform. I could go on and on.
Sure.
But basically, we're making sure that the home functions for them. And it's going to be beautiful and it's just going to make life easier.
Yeah, I know. I've been in homes where they've remodeled the kitchen and usually this is in the case of a flip or something like that. And nobody really thought through the outlets. Like they might do it to code, but like didn't do it to practical living standards. And you get there and you're like, oh, if you really start to think it through, I mean, yes, people do fall for the aesthetics. That's usually why they go to tour the property or why they want to do the remodel. But when they actually start to dig deeper, like, oh, yeah,
That would make life better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or like an island that doesn't have any outlets in it, which they should. But like sometimes people, they skip corners.
Well, they should be inspected. So
yes. Well, and that brings me to another point. So your business, especially on a website or on Instagram, is highly visually attractive, right? So people are looking at it. It's pleasing to the eye. They really like it. It resonates with them. Obviously, you can get testimonials and that type of thing to convey like how smooth the process goes. But is there any like storytelling that you've incorporated or a way that you found really helps people understand like this went smoothly because my team has the processes that we can avoid you having to, hire new contractors 3 times or fire contractors 3 times or all of those nightmares that we do hear about a lot.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's so many directions I could take this right now. So to put that out there, I do have a blog. Most of the times we've got it up once a month. Last month didn't happen. I am having had my own design team that I managed before going out on my own. I am all about the education. Sometimes I might have to dial it back a little bit for my clients because I really lead with the education on understanding, like I said, how their lifestyle is, but even the products I'm going to put in their home.
Yeah.
So I know how important education is. So yes, I have the blog post. We even put like Q&A up on Google so people can find answers to questions right on our Google business post. From the first call, if I get a lead, somebody, logs in their email information and wants to request more information through the website, I send them what we call an investment guide that talks about our process, talks about our project minimums. Yeah, I've been told I should cut it back, but then as soon as I cut it back, I had somebody say, well, what happens next on this, So I'm just like, you know what? Let's just put it all back in there. So we outline step by step in this investment guide what the process looks like to work with us.
That's good. At least you kind of rule people out.
Exactly. Yeah. And so if somebody, that's not what they're looking for, the full service like we are, and they just want somebody to go shop with them, then that's not what we do. Then, that does kind of like weed them out. They say, oh, okay, she's not for us, which is okay.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we're in alignment. We have, we didn't go into too much detail and process on the website, but like I said, we do have it in blog posts.
Yeah.
And it's on Google.
Sound like you're very process driven. So.
I am. Yeah. And then so even after the discovery call, I'm going to review it again in person to clarify. So my discovery call usually like to do on a video chat.
Yeah.
So before anybody even gets to our first appointment, which is a paid consultation, then they're already understanding kind of what the process is going to look like to work with us.
Yeah, well, I think that's really smart. I think a lot of the things that you said make a ton of sense, but it is also good to share it on this podcast and to have it on your website and everything so that people understand, because a lot of people haven't remodeled before. A lot of people haven't hired a designer before. Like there's a first time for everybody, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Every designer works differently.
There are a lot of different ways to work. I have been to so many workshops. I've been in the industry 20 years. I've seen how to do it and how not to do it. And no, I'm a firm believer in sharing the process because providing your clients with clarity gives them confidence in you.
Yeah.
And if they have confidence in you, then they're going to have confidence in the design process. And that's of the utmost importance because homes are so personal.
Yeah, well, and I know I've seen a lot of times when people are remodeling, that they'll reach out to realtors and whatnot, looking to stay somewhere short term, because if it's a larger project, maybe they can't live in the property. So, how do you help people with that? Do you have any services or relationships to help people when they're going through that situation?
So that's something we talk about early.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say services. More often than not, my clients are like looking into Airbnb, but I'm informing them when they're if we're talking about a major renovation and they're like, can we live in the house? And the answer is no, you're not going to want to live in the house if it's a major renovation.
Yeah.
If it's a kitchen, it kind of just all depends on how big and spacious the house is. And, there are resources that I guide them to. Sometimes it works out. They've got a full outdoor kitchen and they're okay with the occasional eating out. Might be while we're sanding and spraying in the kitchen that we tell them like leave for at least maybe like 2 weeks. The fumes are going to be bad. But again, if it's a major renovation, I tell them like you're going to be looking for an Airbnb, figure out, I tell them, especially if the budget's the investment level is a little tighter. They don't have, unlimited funds to just like stay in an Airbnb forever. Then we talk about that. You need to start thinking about, you're probably going to need a storage unit or, rent a couple of pods to put your belongings in. You need to think about the extra expense for eating out, living in the Airbnb. So we talk about those things.
I think it's really good to put those out there just to set expectations more than anything. So someone's not coming back to you later and saying, oh, I didn't understand. I didn't even think about this because you've been in the business for so long. You have a much better idea of what they can expect. And sometimes when you're in the business for so long, you start to think, oh, everybody should know this. But I think it's good that you're putting it out there.
No, I know that not everybody knows this. And sometimes I feel a little repetitious, but I do know it takes 5 to 7 times for somebody to remember something you've told them. So beyond just outlining our process in the investment guide. I outline it again once they've signed in the welcome guide.
Oh,
And then I send out one sheet we call what to know about whatever the phase is, like what to know about project kickoff, what to know about pre-construction, what to know about the presentation. So I have these little one-page reminders because there's an overwhelming amount of information.
yeah. And I've noticed that sometimes, I'm sure you've seen this too, sometimes people only selectively hear different things. So you might have told them something 5 times and they might have heard it the way they wanted to 5 times. Like
Exactly.
wink, wink. You're like,
Right.
oh, wow, that is not what I said at all.
Yeah.
You have it written and verbally presented. So that's
Yes.
really good. Have you had people approach you that say, hey, I'm talking to you. I want to do the consultation about a remodel, but depending on what I hear, maybe I just want to like sell and buy a new house or start from the ground up. Like, is it usually a
Exploratory?
decision, or is it more of a, oh, no, I love my home. I just want to love it more.
More often than not, they've already made a decision. Now, that can change during the consultation.
Okay.
I've had people, they're thinking that they're just going to, remodel one room or one room at a time. And I go in, I'm like, okay, so here's the thing. We can't just change the flooring here and then come back and change your kitchen, because once you've replaced flooring, then you're tearing out some of that flooring in your kitchen because we're tearing out the cabinets and we're reimagining the floor plan. And then we start diving a little deeper, like this is going to go, into your stairs and you've got a built-in over here. And they were like, oh my gosh, we didn't think about all these things.
Yeah. Well, that's what I need you.
So that's kind of, that might change their mind that, okay, basically we're entirely remodeling this house. Maybe we do need to start fresh. So,
And then I love asking this question. I'm curious to hear your answer, but how would one determine if they should reach out to you, a designer, versus just going straight to a contractor?
If you want a fine enough, nice enough kitchen or design, then you're more than welcome to just go with a contractor and just understand. If you're saying, I know I can't do, the more customized kitchen, we're probably going to go with pre-constructed cabinets and we're happy with quartz countertops and basically just your standard nice kitchen. That's really, it's the people who have the funds to invest in real personalization and customization to the level of the work that we put out. If you have those resources, I strongly recommend you hire a professional that has construction experience. We even have contractors that we know and trust and work well with. We partner with contractors. We partner with architects. So yeah.
You can kind of like coordinate everything, which is a huge thing.
Yeah. And I like to say we do project oversight. We're not technically an interior designer. They say it all the time. Oh, we project manage. Your contractor should be project managing. We should be doing project oversight. We're partnering with the contractor. We're guiding it. We're there throughout. I mean, for us, we want to be there at plumbing and electrical, at framing, because I want to make sure that appliance garage I specified, with all the things we're going to plug in, I need a 2-gang outlet, not just a single outlet. So we want to be there to make sure and catch those things. No, guys, we were supposed to have 2 outlets here, not just one. Or where's the stub out for the pot filler at the range?
Yeah.
So we partner with them throughout that process. It's an extra set of eyes.
Yeah.
And we know the plans inside and out by that point. So yeah.
No, I was thinking as you were describing it, it's almost like having like an artist custom make a piece for you versus just buying something at home goods, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you rely on a contractor, you're probably going to get the same design he's done 10, 15, 20, 100 times over.
Yeah.
They're going to send you to Floor and Decor. They're going to send you to Home Depot. I'm not saying they don't have a place. They're also not like, they are value engineered products.
That's some good words.
Oh yeah, no, they are value engineered for a certain price point because that's not where the luxury client that wants to invest in true personalization is going to shop.
Yeah, this is very much an investment in your home.
Yes.
Yes. Was there ever a time in your life that you felt like this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life?
Oh, so many designers, it's like a second career. For me, I'm like a little odd man out there. By 7th grade, I had decided it was what I wanted to do. In our middle school, it was called Career Cruise, and they had an interior design class, Introduction to Interior Design. And so I took it and I loved it, and I knew that's what I wanted to do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, to know so young and then to like follow through on it. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Where did you go to school?
So I started at Orange Coast College. I actually lived in Northern California.
Okay.
And then I have a cousin who lives down here, and I used to come visit, and he needed a roommate, and I jumped at it, and I immediately looked where are schools I can go to for interior design, and we were in Costa Mesa, so Orange Coast College was right there. So I started taking their courses there. Eventually, I moved over to IDI Newport Beach, Interior Design Institute, Newport Beach, and got, while I was there, I got a job as a design assistant. So,
Okay, so this is clearly like this passion runs in your blood.
yeah, I know. I've asked myself, a few times, running a business has its challenges.
Sure.
And I've asked, okay, what else would I possibly do? I was like, nope. It didn't take long. Like, nope, that's it. Nope, I'm sticking with it.
Well, it's nice too because you are obviously creative. That's probably what drew you in initially. But then since you do have that like process oriented side of your brain that fires a lot, it sounds like it's like the perfect combination for you to actually be a business owner of a design studio. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. So where can people find out more about you? What is your website? Where are you on Instagram or social media?
Oh, yeah. We're on all the things. So Google Business, Terri Brien Interiors. Our website is just terribrieninteriors.com. And then Instagram is, I don't know why I made it so complicated. It's terri.brien.interiors on Instagram.
It's not that complicated. Well, you have beautiful work to showcase that I see on there. And is there anything that you want to highlight that is new and exciting for 2026?
New and exciting for 2026. I mean, it all depends on what you consider exciting. I'm super excited that we've revamped our contractor spec book.
That's exciting.
Just providing even more clarity for our contractors. We love working with our contractors. They're our partners. But as far as projects, we do have a number of projects going on. On the website, we've just been so anxious. Projects can last so long, the construction process. And so we've started like adding renderings for projects that we're working on to our websites instead of just waiting for the beautiful photography. Exactly. So we have a couple of projects we're super excited we're working on. We're working on one in Corona Del Mar right now. We've got 2 in Dana Point, San Bernardino, and San Juan Capistrano.
Yeah, you really are all over the Southern California map. That's awesome. So lots of big things, but I'm sure there's always room for more.
There's always room for more. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Terri, thank you so much for being on here and helping people that really want to make an investment in their home, make it more into a functional space and a beautiful space too.
Thank you, Holly. Appreciate it.
The end.